Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So this is going to be a little informal since we're in an informal room. But I also think there's a lot of power to some of those informal presentations. Instead of just standing up here and talking at you for the next 25 minutes, I really want to make sure that everybody's engaged. Lynn, thank you for doing that. Thank you guys, you and Troy, for being just very good friends. We have a chance to not only do talk shop together, but B&I, Theater Memphis, we have a chance to interact quite a bit. So I was very happy that you agreed to introduce me today. A little bit about me, besides what Lynn talked about. It ties off a little bit of what Joe talked about earlier. I'm sort of the Yoda for Talk Shop. My goal is to help all the different members, whether they're advertisers, supporters, or just visitors, get some insight, some wisdom they can take and apply to their business. So today, that's sort of what we're going to do, is we're going to talk about some of the various things that you can do as 2018 is rapidly approaching. It's kind of scary how quickly 2018 is coming. Troy, you asked about Christmas shopping? Yeah, I mean, it's here. So as we go into 2018, go ahead and hit the next one. Yeah, we'll build out for a second. We're talking about the power of goal setting, and it's really the foundation for success. We're going to talk about things today that are really centered on business, but I would challenge you to think about your personal life as well. And I have a slide here that helps explain that a little bit more, but what we're going to talk about today really has value beyond just a business situation. So we'll start off a couple quotes. You guys ever seen or heard that quote? Any road will get you there, you don't know where you're going?
Alice in Wonderland.
Yep. Think about the holidays right now. A lot of people will travel for the holidays, but they have an idea where they're going. If they just woke up one morning and said, I'm going to hop in the car and I'm going to go, well, yeah, they'll get there wherever there is, right? So having a goal, having a destination in mind is crucial. Business and personal life. Another quote. A goal without a plan is just a wish. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Okay. So those are a couple thoughts that really set the foundation for this discussion today. It's really helping set that destination, that course for your success. Joe. Go ahead. Next one. Really a couple different components. First one we're going to talk about is the vision. It's that looking out to where you want to go, what your end result is. What I see as a coach frequently is people working very, very hard, but they really don't know what they're trying to achieve. They really don't know what their goal, what their destination is. So starting off with a clear picture of what you want to achieve is crucial. Before you move, there's a couple different things as you're thinking about your business that you might want to do, actually you should do before you do your vision. Make sure you understand your values, what's important to you, what your character is, right? So you want to make sure that you really have identified what's important to you. Also, your mission. What is it that you do? With those data points, you can build a vision, that clear image. Next. With that, goals. It's that first step to helping you achieve that vision. It's those tangible things, those mile markers along the way that you're working towards. And you'll have various goals, various stages of your business through the course of the year, as well as outside of your business in your personal life. Plans. These are now, you're trying to make it more tangible, more concrete. The steps you're going to take in order to achieve your goals, which goes to your mission. Again, these all build off each other. And finally, actions, tactics. What are the specific steps that you're going to do, the activities that you're going to do to bring this all to life? It goes back to a little bit what I said earlier, that a lot of people are working hard, but they're just working hard. They don't really have identified the key things that are going to help them achieve their goal. And goals are going to be different for every one of you. If I went around the room right now and asked for your top 1 or 2 goals, there may be some similarities, but there's going to be some big differences because everybody's at a different stage with their business and at a different stage with their life. It could be that you're a startup business and your goal is to break even. You could be in business 10, 15 years and you're ready to go to that next level. Maybe it's opening a second location. Maybe it's bringing on another crew or two, adding another piece of equipment. It's going to be different for everybody. But that's why it's crucial that you go back and think what's important to you. before I go on to this, make sense so far? Okay. I'm going to try to go through this fairly quick today, as you've seen. One is I have 25 minutes, this is usually an hour presentation. And so when you get a speaker without the official timekeeper being here today, I could really go. But I'm going to move it pretty quick because I want to make sure we leave time for questions at the end. So I think that's very powerful. Again, that informal setting really is conducive to letting you ask questions. So, starting point. I mentioned before that this certainly works from a business standpoint, but business is only one facet of your life. So with this very simple diagram sets out is there's different things. There's business success, health and fitness, family relationships, financial independence. As you start the course of your year, as you start your planning for 2018, you may find out that health and fitness, you're a 3. Well, what's one of the most common resolutions for the new year? Lose weight, exercise. Well, your goal may be to get to 10. So if you're a 3 or a 4 and you want to get here, it starts identifying that gap. And it tells you where you need to focus time and energy. Perfect world, perfect balance, you'd be at 10 in all of these. Reality, doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. But what you want to do is find that right balance for you and find those areas that you really want to focus on and take the steps to improve. So just to identify that, boy, I wish I was there. It's like saying I want to lose weight, but you don't change your eating habits. You don't change your exercising habits. If you don't make changes, you're not going to change. You're not going to get that end result. I want to talk a little bit about the power of goals. First and foremost, the difference between having a goal and not having a goal. You can see the unwritten goal, group 1, 4.28. So you have a higher likelihood of achieving something if you at least have thought about your goal. But look to the next one, group 2, a written goal, how it jumps. More people will achieve their goals by the physical steps of writing it down. That writing it down makes it real. That writing it down makes something you can go back to and look at and keep focused on. If you don't have it, everybody's busy, right? So you're thinking, oh, my goal is I'm going to do this. And then you get into everyday life, and a month later you're going, what was I trying to do this year? Write it down. It makes it real. Take some ownership. The next piece, group 3, not only think about what you want to achieve, but this is where the objectives, goals, tactics come in. Writing your action. What are you going to do to achieve it? Again, make sure you think and then controls what you're doing from an action. These last two, to me, are crucial. Group 4, a commitment to a friend or a colleague. You need that accountability. And when you share it, all of a sudden, again, it takes that next step of making it real. Right? It's not something you're just thinking about, but it's something that you're committing to, something that you want to deliver. So when you share it with a friend, it makes it real, but it also lets them help you, whether it's encouragement, whether it's keeping you on task. Even with that best goal, well-defined actions, I think there may be some frustration along the way. I think something may not go as smooth as you might have thought. Something you thought may be done January 31, all of a sudden it's February 15. You need that encouragement, and that's where a friend can really be helpful, or somebody to help from accountability. And group 5, progress reports. Measure. It's great to look at it at the start of the year, but if you don't look at it again until the start of the next year, you've wasted that opportunity. Progress reports keeps you on task, keeps you focused moving forward. And you can see the progression. By taking these steps, your odds of achieving your goals, your success increases. This next one talks about it a little bit as well. Just re-emphasizes that point of the unwritten goal versus the written goal. You can see the difference. That time that you take to write it down and think about it can help drive results to you. Next. So we're going to go through a little step-by-step process here of establishing your goals. How many of you have heard of SMART goals? A couple of you? Okay. So we're going to talk about that. SMART goals are really to help you when we talk about writing it down. And as you're thinking about it, it puts different focus on different areas to make sure that they really capture what you're trying to do and that they're action-oriented. So the first is that you're writing a goal, be specific. Make sure that it's not, I want to be profitable. How many want to be profitable in their business? One or two? Okay. What does that mean? Right? So I want to make X. I want to earn Y. Whatever it might be for you, be specific. Next. Here's our friend, measurable again. Making what you want to achieve measurable allows you to go back along the way and see how you're doing. If it's not measurable, it's sort of, well, I think I'm doing okay. Boy, I'm working hard. I know this is going to be good. And all of a sudden, that's the, sort of like the report card at the end of the year. You think you're getting an A, and all of a sudden a C is on your report card. You don't feel real good.
Well, I was feeling really good. I was feeling good when I didn't get a C.
Yeah.
But that was your goal.
That was your goal. Yeah, that was the unwritten goal.
Sounds like my son.
So, specific, measurable. Next. Aligned with your values. Now, A is one that, for those of you that have seen SMART goals in the past, A varies once in a while. Sometimes it's actionable, or that more tangible, but the way I like to look at it is aligned with your values. It's true to you. It makes it easier for you to accomplish if it's aligned to you, what you believe in, what your values are. So that's the A in SMART goals. Next. Realistic. Spent a lot of time talking about this one. Well, if I can think I could comfortably get to 5,000 sales, that's a realistic number. But I always challenge my clients, put a little stretch into it. Don't make it where it's, well, if I get up in the morning, turn on the lights, turn on the coffee pot, I'm going to hit that number. Stretch, but make it a realistic stretch. Don't go out and say, okay, this year I did 5,000 units, next year I want to do 15,000 units. You better have a pretty strong idea of what you're going to do to get there, because that's a big stretch. But to go from a 5,000 perhaps to a 6,000, okay, that's growth. It's stretch, but it's realistic. You want to have something that's motivating, not discouraging. You set it too high, frustration is going to kick in, and it'll have an opposite effect on you. This last one, time bound. So important. As you're setting your goals, and you're going to have various goals for the year, make sure you have an actual, I want this accomplished by, B-Y. 2 simple letters, 1 small word, but powerful. It's motivating. If you don't have it, it's too easy to say, oh, I'll get to that next week. And before you know it, it's May. You blink again, it's November. Oops. If it's important, and if it's especially if it's a building block to achieving your overall goal, make sure you have it stated that I want this done by the end of February or March or whatever it might be. So before we move on, S-M-A-R-T, SMART goals. Okay, so that's just a very well-established, practical way to frame out your statements. So just some different thoughts as you're writing these. So you've got this SMART outline. Make sure they're positive statements. So much of success is built around mindset, how you think. So the sheer process, the sheer act of writing in a positive manner starts that mind working in that right direction. So a positive statement is key. Next, I will. It's that first person. You're taking that ownership of this. People that know me may have heard this a few times. One of the words that I really don't care for, used quite frequently today, is empower. The reason, not that empower is a bad word, not that it's a bad concept, but it's a limiting. Empower means I'm waiting for somebody else to tell me it's okay. No. The only person that needs to empower you is you. First person, I will do this. Right? That's where that ownership and power comes in. It's not if, well, Bob over here does this, then I will. No, I will do this. In present tense, using action verbs. Again, action verbs, it's taking that step to do it. It's not just, oh, it'll be nice if we get there, and boy, it'd be really cool if come next November we're, no. I will do this to achieve that by critical components. Going back to that friend of ours, by. Positive, first person, present tense as you're writing your statements. One last thing, as you're writing your goals, don't try to write a paragraph for each goal. Really try to keep it tight, succinct. Take that core thought, put it in a way that's going to be easy to remember and easy to communicate. Huh. Boy, that looks familiar. 7 steps to how you can achieve your goals in 2018. One of the other things that I say quite frequently is what I do as a coach, what I work with my clients on quite a bit, are really simple ideas. Write it down. Pretty simple idea, isn't it? Not always easy. You get busy. So something that's such a simple thought, simple step, doesn't get done. And without that first step being done, you can see where things can start falling off the plate and losing traction. So write it down. Number 1. Next. Set a deadline. Again, that's that time bound we talked about in the SMART goals. Set a deadline for yourself and work towards that deadline. Now you've built your goal, you set out your time frame to get it done. Think about what's going to be perhaps in your way. What obstacles might you be facing? Because if you think about it in advance, there are steps you can take to either avoid or mitigate some of those challenges. If you don't take that time to think about it, you could be going full speed and right into the wall. Take time to think about it so you can address it before it becomes a real big problem. Once you've identified where you want to go, when you've identified the obstacles in the way, you can determine additional skills, knowledge, people that you might need to help you accomplish your goals. We all have strengths, but I can guarantee if I went person by person around the room, they're going to be different. What Doug does, what versus Marcus, Troy. Well, we know Troy is the fashion, icon here. But I mean, everybody has strengths that they bring. Everybody can benefit from saying, "Boy, I'm not as strong in financial management, so I want to bring in somebody that's really good with numbers." Or, "Boy, I'm a great salesman, but the operational piece isn't quite as good." Think about what will help you get to where you need to be. Consider necessary resources. If you want to grow, you may need to look at equipment for your business. You might need to look at a hire along the way. You may need to look at investing in some marketing activities. Again, you're going to talk about the session after this. You're going to talk about how to get some more value out of that. But all these kind of things start becoming clearer once you've identified what you want to achieve. It's going to show you, if I want to get from here to here, I need to do these things. So it's all these pieces coming together. Number 6, talked about mindset earlier. This one, while it's number 6, crucial. Imagine how you're going to feel when you complete this goal. I like to look at it from that positive, the affirmation of how good you're going to feel. There's some coaches that will take it. Think about how you feel if you don't hit that goal. If that goal is in your year 2 or year 3 of your business, you have to break even, and you don't do it, how's that going to feel? Again, it can be motivating, but I like to at least start from my goals on that positive feeling. What can I do? How will I feel? The satisfaction I'm going to derive from hitting that goal. And drum roll for number 7. I guess hit it 1, 2, 3 more times. the joy of a build slide. And one more. Dun, dun.
Yes, commitment.
It's great to think about it. It's great to write it down, going through those steps. But if you don't commit to action every day until the goal is achieved, it's going to be hard to get there. So it's that commitment to action. It goes back to that first one. I'm going to do this. And you do it whether you're feeling great that morning or you're feeling bad. You focus on what you're going to do when you have 15 different things that are on your desk saying, boy, I need to do this, 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 and this. By setting your goals, you now have a way to prioritize your time and your work. The things that are going to get me closer to my goals are these 1 or 2 things. I'm going to start with those. I'm going to commit to take action on those each and every day. It doesn't mean you do it 24/7. Yes, you've got to have other things. We talk about life balance. There's a thing that we talk about as coaches. You don't have enough time in the day to do everything you want to do. You do have time in the day to do the things that are most important. But it comes back down to prioritizing. You have X amount of time. You have 24 hours in a day on the clock. Most of us can't work 24, especially 24/7. But you can really block out that time to work on those things that are most important to you. And if you're doing that, your odds of hitting your goal go up pretty rapidly. Next. Okay, it builds itself. Commit to action. Knowledge versus applied knowledge. Do you guys understand what that is? It's taking it beyond just thinking and the intuitively knowing to doing something with it. It's a big trap that a lot of people think about it, that, oh, I know that, but they don't do anything with it. So it's really that commitment to action. What I would challenge each of you for these next two questions, if you have notes, whether it's hard copy, if you have your smartphone, pad, but think about this. From what we just went through, and again, we went through pretty quick, we've got a few more minutes, but not a lot. What was your key takeaway from what we covered today in our speed tour of goal setting for 2018? What was your key takeaway? One or two things that you said, boy, that's something that's really important to me as I do my 2018 plan. Is there something that really resonates to you individually?
Write it down.
Write it down, great. Anybody else have something to throw out?
I've already forecasted mine, but I didn't take hardly any of this into consideration.
Thank you for sharing that, Doug. But that's extremely common, right? Especially in you work in an organization, give me your goals. Oh, okay, here you go. Well, there's a whole lot more behind, so thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
I like this first point here, knowledge versus applied knowledge.
Great.
We have lots of knowledge.
Yep. And we're always trying to gain new knowledge,
Yes.
right? It's very common. I run into people all the time, well, I read this book. Joe, I'm going to tease you just a bit. I love you. But Joe's always acquiring new knowledge, right? Which is great. But what trap I see people fall into, and I'm not saying that you do, but they're on to the next book and reading that next thing and learning that new piece of information, but never applying it. Right? So yeah, you're very smart. You know some very good things, but if you don't take it and apply it, it's a missed opportunity.
I'd say mine is to block the time out. There's a lot of things that I want to do, but the day gets away, and probably 4:30 till about 8 o'clock is my time.
Yep.
I can save that time for these goals that I never fit into my life.
I love it. Yeah, well, I'm going to play out that for a minute, Lynn, if I can. Blocking a window of time, say it's an hour from 4 to 5 p.m. Don't want to be at 4 to 5 a.m. doing this. But there's one more step besides blocking that time, is having that game plan for that time. Another area that's a watch out is people will talk about their calendar and they'll put it down, oh yeah, I've got time blocked. Well, now that 4 o'clock time hits, they're ready, they're at their desk or wherever. Okay, now what am I going to do for this hour? And all of a sudden 10, 15, 20 minutes are gone before they even know what they're going to use that hour for. So when you go into it, have a game plan so that you're making that full use of that 60 minutes. Don't burn 25, 30% of an hour by thinking about, boy, now I've got this hour, isn't that wonderful? What do I do? Be very deliberate and take that action. But for each one of you, that third question, think about how you will apply it. If you've already done some goals, go back and look at them. You may want to tweak them, you may not. But take that step back. Is it really aligned to what I want and need to achieve? If you haven't, what one or two of these things might you want to take and apply as you're looking at 2018? Part of what I do, going back to my little corny play of my role as Yoda, what I've done for Talk Shop this year is talk to the advertisers about a one-page business plan. A lot of you that have gone through this are saying, boy, some of that sounds familiar. Yeah, it should. is building blocks. How do you take it from goals to action? Well, one of the ways is that business plan. So I would encourage you to keep taking it and do it. Don't just write down my goals, here you go, put it in a nice manila folder, put that in the file cabinet, forget about it. Go back on a regular, routine basis, look at it. We live in a very dynamic world, things change. You need to tweak it, right? So think about how you're going to apply it as an ongoing asset to you.